Alright guys, I come back to you with another video. Sorry if I sound a little frustrated, or if I sound like I'm not very happy. However, something just happened today, and I think it needs to be addressed in a very serious matter because stuff like this has been happening within the Intelligence Committee, both Democrats and Republicans on both sides in the committee. Stuff has been happening that shouldn't be happening, and I just find that is very frustrating and we need answers to. Now, what happened today, I'll get to that in a minute, but I'm going to read this letter that was formed by the Office of Assistant Attorney General, Sir Rod Rosenstein, I'm pretty sure. And this was January 24th, 2018. That's when this was made. So the Honorable Devin Nunes, Chairman, Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, U.S. House of Representatives, Washington, D.C., 20515. Dear Mr. Chairman, recent news reported indicated a classified memoranda prepared by House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, HPSCI or committee, staff alleges abuses of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) in the FISA process. We understand many members of the House of Representatives have viewed this memoranda and that it has raised concerns. As you know, we have provided HPSCI with more than 1,000 pages of classified documents relating to the FBI's relationship. 1,000 pages, guys. 1,000. I think that's quite enough for you to know that the FBI and the Justice Department are doing just fine and they're not hiding anything. I'm going to jump in every once in a while like I just did because I really find that stuff like that is very interesting, and you need to keep that and stuff in your mind and really understand what they're trying to say. Media reports indicate that the committee's memoranda contains highly classified material confidential provided by the department of the committee in a secure facility. The department takes any allegation of abuse or of any justice system by department employees seriously. Further, we assume that the HPSCI members want to provide evidence of any significant allegation of misconduct to department officials so that we may take appropriate action. The rule of law depends on the confidence of the American people. The American people. That our prosecutors and investigators apply the law fairly and without bias or regard to political influence. Though we are currently unaware of any wrongdoing relating to the FISA process, which I will do a video on the FISA process, otherwise known as PRISM, that the NSA has been doing and was put back into place a couple weeks ago. I'm going to do a video about that, guys. I have to get information. I got just the basis of how it works. I have to look over it and stuff, and I just haven't had time to do that. So I'm releasing this because I want this to be out, and I want you guys to learn and know what's up with this. Though we are currently unaware of any wrongdoing, we agree that any abuse of the system cannot be tolerated. Okay, and there's a note down below. To date, the department has provided detailed briefings and made available to the HPSCI documented request as part of its investigation into Russia influence and the 2016 election. The terms of access simulated that the review of the documents would be limited to the chairman or his designee, the ranking member of his designee, and 2 staff members each. Other committees: the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, the the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, the Senate Committee on the Judiciary, and the House Committee on the Judiciary have accepted similar protocol safeguards to protect against improper use of this information. In addition, we have also heard the HPSI is considering making this classified memoranda available to the public and the media. An unpreceded action, we believe it would be. Remember, keywords. This has been everywhere. I've seen this word. In addition, we have also heard that the HPSI is considering making the classified memoranda available to the public. It would be extraordinarily reckless for the committee to disclose such information publicly without giving the department and the FBI the opportunity to review the memoranda and to advise the HPSIC of the risk of harm to national security and to ongoing investigators that could come from public release. Indeed, we do not understand why the committee would possibly seek to disclose classified and law enforcement sensitive information without first consulting with the relevant members of the Intelligence Committee. Seeking committee approval of public release would require HPSCI committee members to vote on a staff drafted memoranda that provides to be based on classified source materials. Okay. This was signed by the Assistant Attorney General Stephen B. Boyd, the Honorable Adam H. So this was signed by the ranking member of the committee. This was signed by the ranking member on the Committee on Intelligence. This was addressed to the Paul Ryan, Nancy Pelosi, Richard Burr, and Mark Warren. Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House, we all know that. Nancy Pelosi, Majority Leader, which I will say, I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. I really think that these two people right here, Nancy Pelosi and Paul Ryan especially, both need to be out. Both just need to be out of the White House. They really shouldn't be in the places they are. I digress, though, and I will move on to further talking about what I found and what has been happening. So, today, the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee came out to the public and talked briefly on what happened in the meeting over the memoranda. And he said it was the greatest fail in American history. And it is. Greatest loss in American history. It's sad that we can't even have agreements, or we can't even have meetings in a bipartisan effort to look over what the hell you are about to release. Because here's what happened. They talked about it. Yes, they did. However, Devin Nunes, the chairman of the Intelligence Committee, I can't believe I'm saying this. I've always had a problem with him because, for one, he recused himself during the 2016 election. Recused himself, just like Jeff Sessions, but they both still talk about it. And they still want to try to undermine the investigation by Mueller. And so is Devin Nunes. By him and his side voting to release this memoranda and a 4-page memo with stuff that we shouldn't even be able to see because it's classified and can potentially hurt our agencies and make them look even worse. Think about that. And not only that, but the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee asked for the Democrat version of the memo to be released because there was also information in that as well that needed to be said. However, the Republicans, the majority, downvoted that and said no. We want our side and nothing else. How can you release just one side? When you want to do this in a bipartisan way, you have to have stuff from both sides. You can't have stuff from one side and say that's perfectly fine. It's okay. It's definitely good. This is all stuff that's 100% correct. And not only that, but the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee asked the FBI director, Christopher Wray, if he could talk to people in the committee about what's going on to try to clear things up. They downvoted that as well. They downvoted every single idea to come together in a bipartisan way to discuss this stuff before releasing it to the public, knowing that there's stuff in that memoranda that can and will hurt our agencies. I don't get it. Like it said, it's very reckless to do this. And, I've always had a problem with Devin Nunes because he's not very smart and he doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to this stuff. Yes, he's the chairman of the Intelligence Committee. However, he's not very smart when it comes to this stuff. It doesn't seem like it. And that worries me. He recused himself, like I said, and he's still in. He still talks about it. He's still trying to undermine the investigation. What I don't understand is if you leave the investigation alone and you let it play out, let Mueller do what he has to do. Let him question the people he has to question. Leave it alone. If you're a Republican or Democrat, you can mutually agree that if you leave Mueller alone and you stop trying to do stuff to Mueller, it will go by so much faster than you realize. So guys, I want you to take all of this into mind and just realize that today is not a very good day when it comes to the Intelligence Committee and the way they handled this. Not only that, but one last thing I will say is now the FBI and the Justice Department are under direct investigation. And that was by the majority. Not by Democrats. Democrats had no say because the majority completely pushed them aside and downvoted every little thing they said. So, Devin Nunes, I say to you, and I say to everyone who wanted this released, there will be a day you will face the consequences of what you just have done. And there will be a day when you face many other things for what you have done in the past. Same thing with Jeff Sessions. Same thing with a bunch of other people in the department and everywhere. Intelligence Committee. There will be a day all of you pay for what you've done. And people, I know my friends most likely are going to watch this video and get to this point and say, oh, he's totally kidding. He's just joking, guys. No, I'm not. And quite frankly, I think as the American people, we should come together and fight this. We shouldn't allow this stuff to happen. This should not be happening. And for the President of the United States, guys, I'm sorry. I wouldn't vote for anyone in the 2016 election, and I wouldn't. I couldn't vote, and I wouldn't. But for the President to undermine the investigation, and for him to say after McCabe, the assistant director to Christopher Wray, was pressured to step down from the FBI. That just happened today. McCabe resigned after pressure. For the president to then get on Twitter and to criticize McCabe is just completely childish. And I say to you, Mr. President, think about what you've done and think about the American people. Think about what's right for the American people and put your beliefs aside for one moment. Alright guys, this is going to wrap up the video. I'm not very happy. You can tell I'm not in a very good mood. But I just wanted to talk and tell you what actually happened today. Those two stories, the deputy director of the FBI resigned, and the memo the majority Republicans made is being released. Two bad things. We'll just have to see what happens. Maybe something will happen in the future. Maybe something will happen directly to Devin Nunes. Maybe something will happen to Sessions. I don't know. But we'll see. Alright guys, if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of the video and what you thought of what's going on now. If you have any comments about it, go ahead and tell me, ask me any questions. I will be there. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.